How do you make a jellyfish hat, a protein mosquito, and a headless firework clown all belong in the same universe and make them terrifying? Answer: you give them Beast Boost. They look like jokes, but the ability turns their best stat into a snowball after each KO, so the gag becomes a threat the longer they stay in. We're ranking 12 interdimensional weirdos that read like rejected concept art, then prove they aren't jokes once the KOs start stacking. If you love mechanics and lore, you'll see the exact moments they spike and the dumb holes that still delete them. Let's open the portal and meet the first thing through, the Gateway Terror. The Gateway Terror starts with a smile and ends with your thoughts speaking in someone else's voice. You open the wormhole, and the first thing through wants to wear you like a hat. Still feeling brave? Meet Nihilego, UB01 Symbiont, the jellyfish that floats in like decor, then rewires your brain like shady software. Soft glow, calm drift, zero threat vibes, until its neurotoxin hits and your thoughts get hijacked. It doesn't knock you out, it locks you in. Your worst obsession becomes the only channel on. That's why this glass bell is scary. It doesn't brawl, it edits you. A normal fight is HP versus damage. Nihilego swaps that for control versus consent. It's the Pokémon form of a pop-up that you can't close, only now the pop-up steers your legs. That twist makes trainers flinch more than Pokémon do. You're not just guarding your team, you're guarding your head. Lore backs it up. The fusion thread with Lucamine says the quiet part out loud. Nihilego isn't a sting, it's a sync. The parasitic bond reads your patterns, feeds your fixations, and keeps you smiling while it eats the wheel. It's what if a jellyfish wore people like hats pushed into body horror software. It finds the bug in your firmware and runs it on loop. Now, the part that breaks your brain twice. For all that alien drip, it's rock/poison. Not water, not psychic. Rock/poison. That typing shifts how it fights and what deletes it. Ground and steel ruin its day, and psychic hits hard too, but it shrugs off fairy, flying, fire, and eats toxic for breakfast. It's a weird set of switches that can look like a free turn or a trap depending on who moves first. Add Beast Boost, the illegal Pokémon perk that turns one KO into a massive advantage. Whatever stat it's best at gets juiced after every takedown, so an early cleanup turn becomes a late-game engine. You see the snowball roll, chip something, finish it, and the next target falls faster. It's less a duel and more a cascade. Keep your distance, keep your ground moves ready, and don't let the hat touch your head. Because after this, the thing flexing through the breach isn't here to edit you, it's here to bench press you. The Absolute Unit. Now meet the Absolute Unit. What if a mosquito flexed before it bit you? Buzzwole, UB02. Absorption. Answers by striking a pose and then bench pressing your front line. It's bug/fighting and looks like a walking protein shake. All veins and victory laps. You see it and laugh a bit. Then the first punch lands and the joke stops laughing back. Every swing fuels its feedback loop. 1 KO, Beast Boost fires, and the strongest stat climbs. That means the next punch hits even harder. You're stuck in a gym mirror where the flex grows larger every time you blink. It's the rare case where showboating is a combat plan. The stat spread sells it. Big attack, chunky defense. It shrugs off most physical hits and trades back with moves that punish greed. Hammer Arm for pace control, Superpower for raw break, Ice Punch to clap anything trying to resist on a wing. Each press is not just damage, it's tempo. Leech Life is the brand. On paper, it's a bug bite. On Buzzwole, it's a siphon. You hit, you heal, and you stay on the field longer than you should. It turns Absorption into a lifestyle. Drain, gain, repeat. In longer games, that sustain is a massive advantage because chip no longer sticks. The Ultra Jungle origin fits. In a place where only the strongest last, a predator built to lift and swat makes sense. The stance, the stomp, the glare, it reads like gym culture went interdimensional. The bodybuilder vibe isn't a gag tacked on. It's the ecosystem saying, lift or leave. Yes, special hits, shred it. Flying hits 4 times hard. Fairy and Rock aim for the weak seam and crack it open. That's the trade. Big armor on one side, thin on the other. But if you fail to hit that gap right away, you watch the snowball roll while it flexes. Buzzwole sells the bit, a joke design that deletes teams while doing curls mid-battle. And if this is muscles turned up to 11, the next one cuts the weight and dials the speed so high you might miss the hit until you're already on the floor. The Speed Demon. The Speed Demon doesn't walk in. It blinks across the screen and sets the pace before you pick a move. Pheromosa, UB02. Beauty is all legs, all runway, zero padding. Bug/fighting gives it real bite. But the body is paper thin. You blink and it's already in, already swinging, already planning the next swap. The fragility is part of the comedy. Defense and special defense scrape the floor, which means a stiff breeze counts as coverage. Any strong priority move, any stray chip at the wrong time, and it tips over. It's also weak to flying 4 times hard, plus fairy and rock, so even neutral hits can feel fatal if they connect. But until that hit lands, you play its game. It sets the pace like a metronome nobody asked for. As a glass cannon, the plan is simple. Outspeed, nuke, leave before retaliation. High speed and real offensive power, let it pick off targets and stack pressure. You bring it in after a safe pivot, throw a kick or a lunge, and move on. If it takes a clean shot back, lights out. So the art is making sure that shot never arrives. This is where Beast Boost turns cheeky into cruel. Build for speed or attack, and one knockout becomes a cascade. KO once, your best stat rises, and the next turn gets easier. With clean lanes and no chip, you start to see a sweep form out of thin air. It feels like an illegal Pokémon when it works, because it broke the rules on momentum. Support makes that runway longer. Reflect and Light screen keep chip from snowballing back. U-turn chains hand it safe entries. Even a slow pivot sets it at center stage with no risk. In the Ultra Desert, that need for clean air makes sense. Move fast, hit hard, never get touched. The joke isn't that it's fragile. The joke is you still can't touch it. You chase, it glides, you prep, it pivots, and right when you try to adjust for speed, the club swaps sprinters for wiring and asks your team to hold still. The Power Grid Nightmare. Now the wires take over. The Power Grid Nightmare is here. What if your breaker box learned Thunderbolt and had feelings? Xurkitree, UB03. Lightning shows up like a walking knot of cables with a star bulb for a head and asks your team to hold still. Pure electric type, no frills, just current. It looks silly until the first beam fires and you see why this thing broke the rules. The tension is simple. You see twisted wires, you expect tripping hazards. Then Beast Boost kicks in after 1 KO, and the lights go out for your whole roster. Its special attack is absurd, and that single boost turns near misses into clean one-shots. You thought you had a switch in. You didn't. You gave it charge time. Electric dominance is the deal. Thunderbolt and Discharge fry anything that isn't grounded or immune. Grass coverage, hidden power back in older sets, and extra tools fill gaps just enough to keep momentum. But the ground matchup is the big red sign. Pure electric means a real, hard weakness to ground. If you bring a healthy ground type with decent bulk or speed control, you can stop the surge on contact. Miss that window, and it scales out of reach. Ultra Plant lore ties the look together. It comes from a place where the trees are power lines and the vines act like cables. Those long limbs and the glowing head pull and store juice, like a living substation. It harvests energy the way other Pokémon sip water. That loop of gather, store, dump explains the way it plays. Now the scary part, the mechanic synergy. You KO once, special attack rises, and the grid can't recover. It sweeps late because one mistake becomes a cascade. No trick, no gimmick beyond the stat and the button. That's the illegal Pokémon vibe. You gave it space, and it took the map. So the verdict sticks. Xurkitree is the outage you can't file a ticket for. And just when the UB party is peaking, something fast and clawed slips in with no beast boost and acts like it owns the room. The Party Crasher. Meet the Party Crasher. Who let the non-UB into the UB group chat? Zeraora sprints in like it's on the list, waves at security, and heads straight to center stage. It's a mythical Pokémon, not an Ultra Beast, electric type with Volt Absorb, high speed and attack, and claws for days. No Beast Boost, no Wormhole Visa, just raw pace and tight tools. Here's why that lands. Volt Absorb lets it heal off your Thunderbolt and flip an opening, then it closes the gap with real hands. Plasma Fists is the signature. Hit first, hit hard, and for that turn, normal moves become electric when they make contact. Your safe click can turn into a gift for its ability, or into bonus pressure on a switch. It doesn't need a snowball when it wins the first trade clean. You bring it in, fake a switch, and it still outspeeds most things that matter. It plays Thief with momentum. Volt Absorb gives it a free pass on predicted zaps, so it farms health from your plan and keeps swinging. It's like finding a VIP wristband at a party you didn't host. Not invited, yet somehow at the DJ booth. That outsider angle makes it a sharp foil. Ultra Beasts stack power by knocking things out. Zeraora skips the interdimensional gimmick and runs on base tools. High speed, good attack, wide enough coverage to tag ground checks with ice and pressure, bulky answers with utility. Fast taunt shuts down setup. Quick pivots reset the board. It's built to win now, not later. The gag holds because it keeps up anyway. No beast boost, yet it steals hype and tempo at the door. If you toss out an electric move, it thanks you and gets stronger. If you try to wall it with a slow tank, it moves past and punishes the slot you left open. The illegal Pokémon vibe, comes from that clean efficiency, no broken stat trick, just sharp play and nasty options. Party Crasher status confirmed. And after speed steals the room, the vibe flips. From a sprinter with claws to a structure that plants its feet, drains the clock, and wins the air war without leaving the ground. The Space Fortress. Now it's time for the Space Fortress. Why does a bamboo rocket have better footwork than your whole team? Meet Celesteela, UB-04 Blaster, the grounded rocket that somehow wins the air war. Steel/flying gives it that how do you hit this vibe straight away? You throw status or chip at it, and it just leans, stalls, and keeps the engines humming. It looks slow and stuck, but under Trick Room or with tight positioning, it turns into a rolling fortress. You bring it in on a resisted hit, and the board stops moving. It pressures switches with heavy shots and refuses to be moved by weak pokes. The pace flips. Your fast threats feel slower, your plan feels late. The bulk is the headline. Steel/flying cuts tons of damage and dodges ground by default. That lets it tank, seed, and burn clock while still firing back with clean, simple moves. Leech Seed and Chip Tools stack time in its favor. It stalls without looking like a stall pick because every turn buys fuel. Here's the neat identity piece. It keys into the garden shuttle joke by absorbing from the ground. The roots feed the rocket. That one detail explains the loop. Land, draw strength, lift, repeat. It makes stall feel organic. You aren't turtling, you're planting and launching, like a greenhouse that built boosters. Min-max done quiet. No loud snowball, no show-off sweep. You feel inevitability. Tap it on the wrong side and nothing happens. Let it stay, and the field turns into a slow drip of health on its side and a dry well on yours. It plays for long games, end states, and timers. That's the massive advantage that doesn't read flashy but wins sets. Design-wise, the folktale nods are clear. The bamboo body, the rocket bells, even that inner gleam. It reads like a space shuttle welded to a Japanese garden. Ultra Crater lore fits too. Moonlit spires, stone towers, a sky that begs for a launch. On the board, that's exactly how it wins. It outlasts, outpositions, and then closes by refusing fair trades. If this is a fortress built to fly, next up is a fortress built to sit, and you'll need the right tool to leave a mark. The Indestructible Wall. The Indestructible Wall shows up when the field needs a hard stop. Stakataka, UB Assembly, rolls in like a stack of bad decisions and dares you to dent it. Rock/steel plus ridiculous defense turns your best physical hits into light taps. You throw a jab, it answers with a stare. It's a sentient pile of stones with the stats to match, but it's not one thing. Each block is its own life form, and the tower is the group, a hive that moves as one. Poison does nothing. A bunch of common types bounce off. Normal, flying, rock, psychic, bug, dragon, fairy, steel. That spread of resistances gives it free turns, which is all it wants. It doesn't chase KOS, it parks, it leans on you. It turns a battle into a stalled freeway. But here's the crack. Fighting and ground don't just poke holes, they hit 4 times hard. Water also hits super effective and sprays down the whole build. You line up the right move and the fortress becomes gravel. That's the tension that makes it fun to play around. You either brought the hammer or you watch your plan slow to a crawl. On field, it lumbers and stacks tiny wins. Protect a turn, chip with a rock, force a switch, and claim space. Under Trick Room, that slow speed flips to a perk, and the bricks start throwing first. Gyro Ball turns that slowness into damage. Every extra turn means more chip, more chances to set the board the way it wants. Beast Boost adds the rude part. Go full bulk, and each KO can push defense even higher, turning Can't Break This into Don't Even Try. Or you swap to an attack build in Trick Room, pick off something fragile, and the boost snowballs damage instead. 2 modes. 1 headache. The joke is false security. You see a wall and relax. You click a neutral move and hope. Then it stays, shrugs, and the clock moves in its favor. But if you throw that one right punch, fighting, ground, or a clean water read, the tower caves fast, and there's room for a blade that wins with the opposite plan. The Glass Cannon. Here's the opposite philosophy. Slash first, ask later. The Glass Cannon is Kartana, UB-04 blade. Can paper beat steel? Yes, until someone lights a match. Kartana looks like a craft project that learned swordplay. Tiny frame, folded edges, and a blade for a body. The joke lands when you see the damage it puts out. One clean hit and a wall turns into confetti. It moves with a clipped, efficient style that reads like purpose over rage, slicing paths rather than picking fights. The tension sits in that paper-thin shell. It slices worlds, but special defense is barely there, and fire ends the bit in one click. You feel safe while you're swinging first. You feel doomed the moment a hot breeze points your way. That's the Kartana deal. It gives you huge highs and instant crashes. You play it like a heist. Bring it in on a resist, read one turn right, and press the button. It possesses one of the highest attack stats in the Pokémon world, so even neutral hits bite. Beast Boost turns a single KO into a snowball, so each takedown sharpens the next. Stay on track, and it looks like an illegal Pokémon, because it broke the rules on how hard a small frame should hit. Miss a read, eat a flame, and you pop like a paper cup. Grass Steel gives that wild mix of perks and holes. Tons of resistances for safe entries, but glaring weak spots that punish lazy clicks. A water or rock hit feels like a tap. A fire strike is a siren. One misread equals ash. You learn fast to scout, pivot, and only swing when the path is clear. The origami katana vibe isn't just a gag. Ultra Forest lore backs it, a place of towering plants where paper-like life thrives. So this folded sword makes sense. It's a katana with legs. Deadly if it swings first, doomed if it doesn't. You prep the board, strip out priority, and clear hazards so chip won't break your line. When it works, the sweep feels clean and earned. When it doesn't, you get a flat KO screen and a note to self. And just when you're done sharpening edges, the show swaps blades for a sparkler with a fuse and a smile. The Head Exploding Clown. Enter the Head Exploding Clown. Is it still a party trick if the trick is losing your head? Blacephalon says yes and adds fireworks. UB Burst struts in like a neon street performer, then pops its own head and lobs it like a bomb. You stare, then you check your HP bar, then you stare again. The setup is simple. It's fire/ghost. It hits hard, and it looks ridiculous until the move lands. Mind Blown is the marquee button with base power set at 150, but it slices half of its max HP in recoil after use. You press it when you need the blast, and you pay for the show. That cost shapes the whole plan. You scout, you chip, then you detonate. That risk makes the tension work. You have the nuke, but you're also your own blast zone. If you mistime it, you faint to a follow-up tap. If you time it right, the board flips. It's like hiring a fireworks crew that bills you by the limb. Big boom, big invoice, no refunds. Coverage seals the theme. Ghost/fire checks so many boxes that safe switches dry up fast. Shadow Ball punishes neutral targets. Fire moves melt steels and grasses, and even bulky picks hate taking those hits after minor chip. Kids Party Colors, hazard zone damage. Here's the rude twist. Land a KO, and Beast Boost kicks your best stat up a notch, which is usually special attack. Now you're a roaming fireworks show. You threaten anything that can't outspeed or resist both halves of your kit, and teams struggle to pivot without handing you another boost. The vibe is comedy horror. You laugh at the clown, you flinch at the blast, and the laugh track is an alarm. Even the way it strolls before it detonates adds to the bit. It sells chaos with a bow on top. Blacephalon is the act that burns bright, then burns itself, and still wins the night. And after a show that trades half its life for one loud moment, we shift from flash to hunger, where the field isn't a stage anymore, it's a meal. The Walking Black Hole. The Walking Black Hole has a name, Guzzlord, UB05. Glutton rolls on with a mouth, legs, and a zip code. Dark/Dragon fits the mood. Everything you bring looks like a snack. Lore backs it up with whole places chewed down to nothing in Ultra Ruin. A wrecked city that reads like a menu it already finished. Even the name hits like a warning label. Guzzle plus Lord, and it acts like both. Here's the joke and the threat. Massive HP that makes your bar look wrong, but defenses that feel like drywall. It eats worlds, but it can't dodge a jab. The type chart is loud about it. Fairy hits for 4 times damage. Fighting also tags it hard. And even a clean neutral special can push it over. That whiplash is the core tension. Big body, soft shell, constant hunger. On the field, it's slow and heavy, yet terrifying when it gets rolling or a wall cracks. One mistake, one bulky check gone, and it sits in, chews, and refuses to leave. Knockoff strips items, crunch chips, and threatens drops. Dragon Tail shuffles teams and racks hazard damage. Even a greedy setup turn can flip a lane. Your safe pivot becomes a buffet ticket. It doesn't need speed when the room stops resisting. Beast Boost helps the bit. You take a KO, the best stat climbs, and now the next bite hits harder or sticks longer. But the paradox stands. You're staring at a black hole appetite strapped to a paper armor frame. Meet it head-on with the right hit, and it drops. Get cute or slow, and it snowballs in place. The fear isn't what it does in one turn. It's what happens if you let it sit for 3. Leftovers ticks, chip stacks, and your switch-ins get softer while its plan gets louder. It's like finding a sinkhole in your lane, still ground, but give it time and the street is gone. So the read is clear. Guzzlord is pure hunger made playable. It offers a massive advantage only if you create the room. And right when you learn to respect the maw, something small and smiling steps in and asks for a spot on the team. The Adorable Betrayal. The Adorable Betrayal has a face and a wag in its step. Poipole, UB Adhesive, is the one Ultra Beast that feels like a starter from somewhere else. Small, sleek, purple, with that nozzle head it uses to spray toxins, and yet it greets you like a buddy. In Ultra Megalopolis, the world wrapped in constant night, it's well-liked enough to be a first partner. Friendly eyes, bouncy steps, playful and curious. It broke the rules on Menace by smiling. Now the hitch. It's charming, but the move pool hints at tomorrow. You teach it basic poison tools and it listens like a good kid. Then it picks up tricks that sound a bit too sharp for a cuddle session. You can feel a lane opening that doesn't end with chill picnics. That arc is the gag. There's a predator under the paint. When Dragon Pulse shows up, it's the wink across the room and it matters. A Poipole that knows Dragon Pulse will evolve when leveled up, and the ceiling spikes higher. Poison is the core, yet the kit starts forming angles you don't expect from a mascot. It's like finding a race tune on a car seat in a family van. Someone is planning a track day. Beast Boost seals the point. A KO still juices the top stat, so the bouncy alien starts snowballing if you give it room. Cute doesn't mean harmless. Cute means prequel. You land one takedown, and now your safe answer takes more heat than it should. That's a massive advantage wrapped in a plush cover. The emotional turn carries the bit and fits the lore. You bond, you share snacks, and it keeps training past pet into project. Ultra Megalopolis ties the vibe together, a city under endless night-raising bright-eyed partners who are built to upgrade. The nozzle sprays, the stats climb, and your team sheet begins to look like a launch checklist. Poipole is the smile before the sprint, the buddy with a plot twist in its back pocket. Next up, that hint becomes hardware, and the pace shift is immediate. The Ultimate Evolution. Now the mask is off and the frame is all edge. The ultimate evolution is Naganadel. How fast can all become oh no? About one evolution. Naganadel shows up like a poison dragon jet with a stinger and a plan. The cute shell is gone. You get a sleek frame, fast climb, and that needle that says, don't blink. Poison/Dragon gives it lanes to enter on resists and punish slow swaps. Now it's fast, it hits hard, and one KO can start a fire. Beast Boost. Juicing. Special attack means a single takedown turns into a massive advantage. You clean one slot, your numbers rise, and the next switch looks worse. That's the snowball. It doesn't need tricks, just room. Coverage is the mean part. Sludge Bomb deletes fairies and chips everything else with poison rolls. Draco Meteor is the button you press when you need a body off the field now. Flamethrower roasts steals that thought they were safe. Thunderbolt zaps. Waters that try to sponge hits. Each tool steals a common answer and turns it into bait. Lore gives it purpose. In Ultra Megalopolis, resources are thin and the dark never ends, so a fast guardian makes sense. The Ultra Recon Squad notes Naganadel as protective in that fight for survival. That tilt from friendly to assertive feels earned. It's not just stylish, it's pivotal to holding a bad world together. On the board, that role shows. You bring it in late, after the bulky checks take hits. One clean KO and the engine lights. From there, you play lines. Keep hazards up, keep priority out, and keep pivot routes open. If it sticks for 2 turns, the game feels over. If you mistime a Draco, you still force trades that break cores. Viewers who sleep on poison types get a wake-up call here. It pressures fairies, it breaks steals, and it does it at a pace that reads, illegal Pokémon. You feel the rules bend when the jet hum starts. Naganadel is the payoff for the Poipole arc, sleek, lethal, and built for Beast Boost runs. And that's the thread tying this whole roster together. Odd designs, sharper mechanics, and a habit of breaking the rules. So here's where it lands for you. This is the wrap. Ultra Beasts read like rejected concept art that got handed Beast Boost and told to break the rules. You get min-maxed monsters where one knockout turns into a massive advantage, and the joke design suddenly feels real. It's like finding a glitch that can bench press. Let me know which one feels the most illegal Pokémon to you. Like and subscribe if you want the mechanics deep dives next. We can unpack why some pick Snowball and others stall. The real Ultra Beast was the friends we caught, Eldritch, Overtuned, and still on our team. They broke the rules, but we kept them anyway, because winning with weird never gets old.